I guess we'll wear this hat that I don't really like. I guess it's alright. Today, the decision has been made. I got a list here of upcoming videos. What have I got on here? Eight videos on the list of things to do. And of the 8 that we got on the list, we're going to do these cheap pins. Mainly because I want to get them out of the package and use them. Welcome back to Storm Norman Says. I am Storm Norman. That must mean I have something or some things to say. Probably got some things to show as well. I mean, that is kind of the point of YouTube, right? So I was watching the video. Don't remember the name of the channel, but you know, like I told you, I try to keep my algorithm on this channel to where it mainly suggests stationary videos. Of course, it's a little messed up at the moment for various reasons. Like, I forgot I was on this channel and I started watching a bunch of wrestling videos. And I was like, oh, now my algorithm's on. Anyway, I don't remember the channel, but he was doing a review of these pins. And they're not really my typical jam, you know. But he was doing a review because someone had sent them to him. And I was like, I bet those are cheap. And they're by Sharpie. And I like the Sharpie S-Gel. Y'all know I got 4 of them. Well, I got more than that. Got 4 of them plus the 4-pack I bought. So I got 8 of them, I think. Anyway, these are Sharpie Rollerballs. Sharpie Pen Stylo Roller. Black ink, of course, because that's the only ink that matters. Okay. Engineered for precision, blah, blah, blah. They're in needlepoint, obviously. That made the decision a lot easier because needlepoint is awesome. And they're 0.5 millimeters. Let's bust them out. See what we're working with here. These pens, I went to Amazon after I watched the dude's video. So let's go see how much those are. And they're like less than $5 for a 2-pack. So I'm like, that's pretty easy sell right there. They're trashing the floor. Desk is already a mess as it is. I can tell you off the bat, they feel what their price is. They feel pretty daggum cheap, but we'll give them a fair shake. One of the reasons I've had these pens for over a week now, maybe almost 2 weeks, and I want to use them because at work, y'all have seen my magnetic clip. I keep on my hat, put it on my kilt, put it on my shirt, my jacket, whatever. And it's got the little thing you put on here, and it magnetizes to your whatever you got it on. But I also have a leather lanyard that I wear around my neck sometimes when I don't feel like wearing the magnet thing. Like, especially when it's really hot and I don't feel like wearing a hat, I put the lanyard on and it's got a little loop on it. You can stick a pin in it, but the only problem is I use click pins at work, so it don't really work for that. Because if you put the click pin in it, when you go to get the click pin out, you got to hold it so you can pull the pin out and use it. But if you got one of these, because I currently have at work in that lanyard my Lamy Safari Rollerball, so if you put this in it, then the cap stays there. So when one of my installers is signing for their material, or if I'm unloading a truck and I'm signing for the material, this thing's hanging here. All I gotta do is reach up and pull the pin out right with it, and then, you know, that part's kind of annoying, trying to get it back in the cap. Then all I gotta do is just whoop, put it back in the cap, and it's hanging there. I don't have to worry about taking the whole pin out of it or whatever. So I've been wanting to take these to work, try them out, really dig that clip, the way it's angled, I guess you would say. I don't know. But real quick, let's get the camera pointed down at the desk so y'all can get a little top down. I was debating whether or not I wanted to do this or not, the top down part, because it's such a hassle to get it set up. But I'm sure y'all want to see how this thing writes on paper, so we'll get the top down set up real quick. Alright, so we're going to cheat a little bit because I'm just going to bust out the tripod. I'm just going to plug the microphone back in where it is. We're not going to move it around. Hopefully you can hear me. But let's write with this pen. See what it looks like. This is some research I was doing on my next camera. I got the bug again. You know, I've had my camera for almost a year now, and I got the bug to get another one. But let's see how this. Let me give y'all. Hopefully that makes sense. It don't look like it's focusing to me, so whatever, man. What shall we write? The typical. So right off the bat, the guy in the video I watched, I want to say it was called The Analog Life. I'm not 100% sure, but he was talking about how they don't feel super smooth, and that's what I'm getting. So they are smooth. I wouldn't say they're terrible. I wouldn't say they're as bad as that Jinhao pen that we took at. The infamous pen that y'all know I hate. But it's not as smooth as the S-Gel is. Let's write something with the S-Gel. This has got the Sharpie refill in it too, because if you remember I couldn't get the other refill to fit in here. But yeah, that's definitely not as smooth. Now don't get me wrong, this is not, it's not writing to where I'll be throwing this thing out the door or anything. Y'all know rollerballs ain't really my jam, but it's really not that bad for the price. I mean, let's consider that these are two pens that cost like $4.50 or something. I don't remember how much they cost. Give the other one a shot. I really want to practice. I want to get better at my cursive. I haven't written in cursive so long. I'm really not good at it. Sharpie. What is this called? Stylo? Rollerball. So, not terribly bad, considering how much they cost. And they got a metal clip. I mean, that's saying something nowadays. Everybody wants to put a plastic clip, especially on a pen this price. This price, especially a pen that costs, you know, basically $2 and some change per pen. And they got a metal clip on. The rest of the pen is plastic, but they got a metal clip on. Most pens these days you buy for that price, you ain't getting a metal clip. You might get something that looks metal, like, well, that don't look metal either. That's definitely plastic. But you know how they'll take plastic and chrome it, put chrome on it, make you think it's metal when it's not. these actually do feel like metal. So, not too shabby. So there you go. What did I just do with that? The Sharpie Stylo Sharpie pen Stylo rollerball pens. I figured, you know, we do like pretty fancy pens on this channel a lot. Sometimes you got to bring yourself down. Remember your roots and where you came from, okay? You know, when we first, we did that video a while back about when did the stationary bug bite you? And it was probably one day you had a cheap pen that just wrote like a dream. I know I've been that way my entire adult life, I guess you'd say, probably in my teens as well, but it didn't matter what the pen was. If I went someplace and I'm buying a car, like say I'm buying a car and I'm filling out the paperwork to buy the car and they give me some crappy pen that's got their logo on it, and then I use it and it's like, man, this thing writes so good, even though it's just some crappy bulk pen that they bought that's got, you know, we have pens like that at work that are terrible, but you never know, you pick up some raggedy pen and it's like, man, this thing writes so smooth. And then next thing you know, you're buying expensive fountain pens. It's how it works. So there, we gotta bring it down back. Remember where we came from. We came from cheap pens and we worked our way up for the most part. Some of y'all probably different, but for the most part, you weren't buying, you know, a couple $100 fountain pen when you were like a kid. So we got the Sharpie, the roller, 05, not bad. We'll take them to work, beat the crap out of them, see what happens. So, that being said, I posted something about if y'all knew any stationery deals for Prime Day last week, because I didn't really see any that were worth my while, and I got the same sentiment from y'all either. Y'all didn't really see anything that was worth your while. So, like, I was content. I made the first day of Prime Day, I ordered 4 things. One of them was the thing I needed, so my headlight was out in my truck. I had to get some bulbs, but I bought this light back here that probably ain't doing nothing, and I bought this charging case for my camera batteries, and I bought the microphone thing that y'all saw in the last video, which was like $10. It's not an actual microphone, it's just a thing I can clip like my little microphone onto it, put the thing on, and it looks like a microphone. So I bought that. I just bought camera gear because there's a lot of good deals on some camera gear, and I was like, well, I guess there's not going to be any stationary deals, except, you know, like I heard Asvine was having a sale. So I was completely satisfied. It is what it is, you know, whatever. Then, on my birthday, my sister got me a gift card, an Amazon gift card. So I was like, you know, I was already thinking to myself, like, I should buy at least something stationery related so I could do a video about it. But I was like, but I don't really want to pay this for that, and, you know, there's no deals going on. So, but when my sister gave me that gift card, I'm like, it is on like Donkey Kong. So I went looking at some pens. I bought 2. They won't be here till Wednesday because I cheaped out on the shipping thing. The Jinhao 9019. I ordered that, which is like I'm told a Pilot knockoff or something. So we're giving Jinhao another try. The Asvine V126, I ordered that as well, and those will be arriving Monday. Also ordered a Midori MD, kind of like this one that I got, but I ordered it in A6. mainly to see if it will fit in this leather cover, because nothing apparently fits in this. It's A6, but everything I have that's A6 doesn't fit in here. So maybe the Midori will. I don't know. We'll find out. But I got 2 pins coming. We'll do separate videos on those. Maybe we'll do a video on this leather cover and that Midori if y'all want to see that. I don't know. So that's content we got coming up. And we also got do a follow-up video on this pen that used to be sitting up here that I can't find now. Like I said, my desk, it could stand a good cleaning. But the Studio Neat Mark 1, we're going to do a follow-up on that. We're going to talk about my mistake I made with Sterling ink. And we're going to talk about my commonplace book, which I'm holding in my hand. I'm sitting here looking for it, and I'm holding it in my hand. But I busted this thing back out. It was sitting on the shelf. I quit carrying it because, like I said, I got too many stinking notebooks in my bag already. But I was at work, and I was like, I need to sit down and write out some plans for some YouTube videos. But I'm like, I didn't bring a notebook to do that. Like, I got my poetry notebook. That's for poetry. I got my Grand Voyager, which is also for poetry and for short stories. And I got my my Lockbee field folio, but that's for my Sunday school stuff. And I got my traveler's notebook, but that's for my planning. Like, I don't have just a whatever notebook to write things in, so I guess we'll bust the old commonplace out again. And this thing, you know, when I first started, I didn't really know what I was doing. It was basically a catch-all, which is kind of what it is. Not really a commonplace book, it's more of a catch-all. And I started this thing on September 25th, 2023 probably. Because I remember I scripted my big mountain trip vlog that I did. I scripted it out in here. Like, very good. Scripted it out. And then the rest of this stuff is just whatever, like tutorials I watched on YouTube. I took notes, did some research on stuff I was buying. There's some video game stuff in here, all kinds of stuff in here, but I just puked it into the notebook. So I sat down when I was at work the other day and I decided to come up with a color coding system so that if I'm flipping through this, I'll know, okay, that color means this, that color means this, that color means this. And I'll be able to, it'll help me define things a little better. And then whenever I fill this up eventually and I get another notebook and start the process all over again, I'll come up with I'll use a color coding system to that, so it'll always make sense when I open it up. But we got stuff coming. Like I said, Mark 1 follow-up, Sterling ink mistake, color-coded commonplace. My sodbuster knife, I still got to do a video on that. My dip pen, if you saw my last post that I made to the community page or whatever, my friend and his wife got me a dip pen for my birthday with this ink that apparently you mix it yourself. So that's going to be fun. Never done that before, never used the dip pen before. So we're going to try that out. New pens, I just told you them are coming. And 1 year with my Canon R50, which that's not till the end of August. So that's going to be a little bit before we get to that one. But no shortage of content to do in the near future. Appreciate y'all stopping by. Remember, you can click that button down below and become a channel member. Last time I checked, we had 1 channel member, so I'm very much appreciative of that guy. And he gets early access. As soon as I edit this video that you're watching right now, it'll go members only until tomorrow afternoon, and then it'll be available to the rest of y'all. So if you want early access to the videos, most of them I didn't do that for the birthday video because the timing just, it's only my birthday for one day. So the timing wouldn't have worked out on that. But for most videos, it's going to be members only get early access, and then you guys will get it later in the day. But you can click that join button and become a member for like $1.99 a month. And it'll be a wonderful place for all of us. It'll be great. So if you can't do that, at the very least, you can click that subscribe button down there. You can click that like button, or you can leave me a comment. Because, you know, people don't understand how in the current, I wish I quit kicking my keyboard. In the current YouTube state, man, comments go a long way. So just leave a comment if you want to. Don't cost you nothing. Just go, hey, you're stupid. I don't care what you put down there. So, I've been Stormin' Norman. I have said things. I will catch y'all in the next one.